Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Leeds Bros for your Wednesday night broadcast. We actually haven't done one of these in a while, lads, because Leeds United's busy fixture congestion, the transfer window. It's been so busy, so we eventually got the opportunity to do this here tonight. So thanks very much for everyone for joining us this evening. It's myself, Dylan, Jam, and Stephen are here tonight to talk everything Leeds United. And as the title of the video says, we're seeing a different Leeds United. So we're going to delve into that a little bit. The Leeds United that we've been seeing on the pitch since that Man City game, the difference that we're seeing, and also off the pitch as well, how the 49ers are conducting themselves off the pitch as well. So we're going to speak about all that as well. So please make sure you're dropping a like on the video and, of course, hitting subscribe to the channel. So we'll go around the lads, see how they're all getting on. Dylan, we'll come to you first. Do you want to say thanks very much to everybody?
Oh, yeah. Just still can't believe it, to be honest with you, Darren. Stephen and Jam as well, legends as always. Yeah, lads, I just want to say thanks to absolutely everyone. Me and Darren obviously hit 4,000 subscribers and 500,000 views, which is so surreal. You know, as Darren said in the post, me and Darren are just passionate Leeds fans, like everyone sitting here watching us. We just love Leeds United. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much, and may it continue.
Yeah, thanks very much for that.
Us on this Wednesday.
Stephen, we'll come over to you. How are you, pal? Loads of Leeds trips booked for you, Theo.
Oh, stop, will you? I kind of end up losing my house, but listen, it's worth it. Do you know what I mean? And I want to congratulate you as well on 4,000 subscribers. And, you know,
cheers, pal.
4,000 subscribers that you have touched, and you know what I mean? I've become friends with you through this channel.
Whoa. Touch, Stephen, go easy,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Touched in good ways and Leeds United ways, not them dirty Dillo ways. Like,
I was feeling a little bit left out there, lads. I'm not going to lie.
Sorry, James.
That's right.
Yeah, no, I'm all good, and you know, you fully deserve everything, and
cheers,
on to bigger and bigger, better things for you. So.
Appreciate that, lads. Yeah, look, we can't do it without you guys as well. You've been a massive support to us. Jam, how are you, buddy? Look at that new setup. It looks unbelievable. Who was this guy?
I was a good boy at Christmas, so Santa came along. Santa came to Cardiff and delivered a few gadgets for me. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of echo what Steve and has said. Like 4,000 subscribers is amazing for you boys. And
cheers, pal.
Just personally for me, I don't want to like start this off on a downer. But for anyone who doesn't know, I had a bit of a mental breakdown about 4 or 5 weeks ago. So like this channel and the boys have been like such a massive help for me, just going through the tough times, but and going through therapy and all that kind of thing. But I just kind of wanted to highlight what this channel does for people out there that are perhaps watching in silence or watching on their own. So yeah, I'm not going to go too downbeat on it, lads. I am in a good place now, but I just kind of wanted to highlight how much this channel does for people like fans like myself out there who perhaps haven't had the platform to voice their opinion on Leeds United. But yeah, we're staying up. So that's what I'm on.
Cheers, pal. Love that, Jam. You're choking me up there, pal. Now, thanks very much again. And to everyone that's been a subscriber, liked, commented, shared, all that good stuff over the last 18 months. It's been absolutely unbelievable. I mean, Dylan keeps saying, and it's cliche to say, but we actually genuinely never thought we'd get anywhere near here. We just wanted to come on and talk about Leeds United. We keep saying we're not experts, we're not tacticians. We're far from it, to be honest with you. We get a lot of things wrong, but we just enjoy coming on, talking to you guys and the community that we're building. So thanks very much. And we have a cracking comment here as well, which is kind of taking me back a little bit, I do have to say. Mo says, listen to you all the time, just waiting for my flight in Vietnam as I make my way home to Canada. So make this video a long one and an interesting one. And that's just unbelievable to hear that someone is now sitting in Vietnam listening to our video. So it's absolutely class. So thanks very much for that, pal. Danny Rumsey's in the building. Says smash a like and subscribe. Please do that, guys. That would be absolutely fantastic. Dave is here. Says, evening, boys. Looking forward to this show. Cheers, Dave. Thanks for joining us on your Wednesday evening, pal. Ian Ward says, evening, Darren, Dillo, Jam, and Stephen. Danny Rumsey says, 4,000 subs. I remember when it was your first live. I remember that as well. I was absolutely rattling. I'm so nervous. Still do get nervous. Still do, but
in the sitting room.
Out on the phone. Camera. Yeah, that's exactly what it was like. Evening, morning, bros. Hope you are all well. We actually are fantastically well, brother. Yeah. So we'll get into it. Stephen, I'm going to come across to you first because as the title in the video says, we're seeing a different Leeds United now. And I'm going to pass it off to you because I know you're the most positive Leeds United fan I've ever met in my whole life. Even when things look so bleak, you're always a shining light. You're always positive about it. But just talk through the Leeds United that we're seeing since the turn of that Manchester City game and now also off the pitch as well. What do you make of it all?
It's unrecognizable as far as I'm concerned. It's like, listen, the games before the Man City game, there was certain games we were unlucky not to win, the likes of Bournemouth, the likes of Villa. You know, we played well in games. It was always a if only. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We deserved better, and we did. In fairness, in a few of them games, but you know, to see this doggedness and to see this difference in the Leeds United team, it's something I didn't expect this season. I honestly thought we were in for a long, hard slog. You know, and any Leeds fan that thought different was, maybe they were more optimistic than me, but like based on the players that we signed, and you know, no one could have foreseen the turnaround in Farke, the change in his attitude, the change in his mentality, and the change in his downright stubbornness, because that's what it was. It was stubbornness. It was like stuff that we were seeing week in, week out. Like, I never disliked Farke. I never wanted him gone, but what you can see with my own eyes, if it continued the way it was, there was only one place we were going, and that was down. And then, as well, with the signings that we signed, the likes of Dominic Calvert-Lewin and the Metro, and we all were of the same opinion, going, what are we doing here, lads?
Yeah.
You know, 2 injury-prone players that haven't played much. Like, are we doing this on the cheap? Are the 49ers not up to this? Are they not invested in Leeds United staying in the Premiership? And I don't even know if I honestly think they got lucky. I think Farke has got lucky as well in a certain way, in a sense that
sometimes you need it, those Theo. Sometimes you need a little bit of luck.
Yeah. Listen, football is all about taking chances and being lucky, and that's what it's about at the end of the day. No one can foresee. You can spend £100 million pound on a player like Isak for Liverpool, and he's the best player in the world at Newcastle, and he comes to your club and he's
flop.
Let's be honest, he's a flop, and he gets injured. So it's all about risks. It's all about taking them risks and them risks paying off. And thankfully for us, for once, and that's the thing, for once for Leeds United, these risks have paid off. And I, for one, I'm absolutely delighted. And I, for one, can't see us. I even said it after the Bournemouth game we were at there, and I said it on the show here that I don't think we would go down even then.
Yeah, you did.
I don't think the quality is there in the Premiership. I think you just need to have that little bit. You don't have to be an elite to stay up these days. You know, so
just have enough.
Yeah. Exactly. Just have enough and get lucky. And we have got lucky, but you have to go with them. You have to take them chances, and you take the chances, and it's paying off. So they could take chances, and they didn't. But I for one, can't wait to see what the rest of the season brings. And
absolutely. Me too. That's the exciting thing about us, Theo, because we went through that period of when the performances massively fell off a cliff. 4 games in a row we lost. We were at the falling into the relegation zone, and you were almost dreading the fixtures coming up and looking who we had next. Your Manchester Cities, your Liverpools, Chelseas. We were looking at that fixture list, and lads, I gotta be honest with myself, even the most optimistic Leeds United fan was probably struggling to think how we get ourselves through this December unscathed, and we did, lads. And just to pull it up here, because I keep saying it to the lads, I don't think this run that Leeds United have been on gets enough credit, because it's absolutely remarkable. And I think when you see it down right in front of you, like if you look at the teams that we've played there, to only be unbeaten or beaten in the last 10 games is just absolutely remarkable against the likes of Chelsea, Liverpool, Brentford away from home, where we went 1-0 down, showed character to come back into that game, absolutely wiped the floor against Crystal Palace. Sunderland is away again, showing character to come back into that game. Liverpool at Anfield. Probably one game I do look at is that Manchester United game, a little bit disappointed, because we definitely should have beaten them and taken all 3 points that day. And then obviously the Newcastle game, with that was our slip up. But even in that game, lads, against Newcastle United, we were absolutely brilliant in that game as well. And I think we were still on the wrong side of the result. We should have at least got a point that day. So it's all positive on the pitch, Jam, and it's just so good to see now, isn't it? And I'm just buzzing to be a Leeds United fan at the minute. I'm just so positive about the football club.
Yeah, it's brilliant, mate. And like, you brought them fixtures up there, and you're looking at them games, and you forget so much has happened over Christmas. You look at it and think, oh my god, yeah, we beating Crystal Palace 4-1.
You forget, don't you? You forget like what we've actually done, like, because you're always football. You're looking to the next one, right? Who'll be next, and you forget what you've done, like.
Exactly, mate. And I like that Chelsea 3-1, beating them 3-1. I think that was a big fixture for us. I know we sort of seen it in the second half against Man City that we were improving and we changed the system up a little bit, but since then, I think the pleasing thing for me, boys, looking at the fixtures then, like we lost 4-3 to Newcastle. Now, I was tamping because it's last minute, last kick of the game.
Yeah.
You know, you could throw your hat on the shot being saved, and, you know, it's a bit of a sucker punch, but we could easily have derailed our season, but we seem to have bounced back now, you know, bounced back against Derby, an away game in the FA Cup, which I know is a championship team. We bounced back there. And then to beat Fulham 1-0 and to show like real like heart and desire, like it won't go down as a classic, but to show the level of commitment that we did to keep going until the final whistle, I think that's what's the most pleasing thing for me, boys. Is not one point in the season I thought they're not playing for Farke anymore. They're evidently showing that they are. And I'll be honest, I wanted Farke out during the Man City game when we was 2-0 down at half time. I thought this is his last game, but hats off, credit to him. He's turned it around, and this is all of us three and all of us want as Leeds fans. We want to be proven. We're proven wrong. He knows. So I'm just going to shut up now because he knows what he's doing, and I don't know what I'm doing. So that's just it. I'm just a fan. I'm fickle as they come, boys. Like if we lose 5 or 6 games now, I'll probably be on the Farke out bandwagon again. That's just how it goes. But
that's it. It's the way it goes. Dillo, what about you? What have you made of it all? The complete turnaround and just this different Leeds United that we're seeing now. How we're conducting ourselves.
You can probably see I'm actually stopping to lose my hair. So Leeds are doing a good thing.
Your hair's growing back.
I know it's growing back, yeah.
Every time Calvert-Lewin scores, you get another grain of hair back.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to try to do my hair like his, to be honest with you. Now, for the first time, as I said to you boys off air, apart from the results winning, if we're winning away or home or losing, it doesn't matter. From, as Jam said, the Man City game, or even before that, I wanted Farke on. I put my hands up and I said that. But I'm actually enjoying what I'm watching now. But as I said, put the results aside, I'm enjoying the fight, the determination. Like as you said, their games, like especially the Liverpool game, the Newcastle game, I will admit, was like a lunatic when I came onto this stream. In particular, that was directed towards Perry. It wasn't the other players. But I'm so happy with the way that they were able to turn it around and still not give up the way that we have given up in the past. For example, use Arsenal as an example. He kind of changed everything around. Farke did. We seen a different type of Leeds that came out. There was more fight. There was more determination. And little tweaks along the way, and certain players got injured, suspensions, etc. So these other players had to come in. I keep saying it all the time. His rotation is key. These players that we've brought in, they weren't here to sit on the bench. They were here to recover whoever needs to be covered at. For me, I think James Justin is absolutely phenomenal. Since he came on, he's really surprised me. Road on, as you normally would do. And good Munson. Bogle's been good as well. But good Munson. Really, really surprised by him. He's unbelievable, lads. Even seeing Leeds put up his heat map there. He was last week. And he was like a left winger, like the way that he was.
Yeah, he's everywhere, yeah.
So I think for me, had those go off to Farke. The board, like as you said, why couldn't you be happy?
Yeah.
We're getting results on the board. We're losing, fair enough, to Newcastle, but it was the manner.
We still showed a lot of fight, Dylan, in that game, didn't we?
And
like
quality.
that, we showed battle, and every one of these last 10 games, we've been in every single one of them. We've battled for every single thing, and that's what we still. You always say that's the minimum as a Leeds United United player, isn't it? Is to leave everything out there on the pitch. Where prior to Man City, I don't think the players were leaving everything out on the pitch. I don't think they believed in the system anymore. I don't think they believed in the 4-3-3. We all seen the graphs at the time. Leeds United were the worst in the division for a slow transition from back to front, and we could see that. You didn't need the graph, the statistics to back that up. You could see that with your own eyes, and it's completely changed now. And what I like about Leeds United now so much, lads, is that we can mix it every way now. We can get it down and play football if we want. We can go a little bit longer. We can get a little bit dirty if we want to as well, like that Liverpool game where we really had to dig in and defend as well. And then we've seen some of the goals that we have scored when you look at the goal that we scored away at Sunderland as well. So I like the totally different dynamic now that we have to this Leeds United side. We're not one-dimensional anymore, Jam. We have a lot of strengths to our bow now, and that's the most pleasing thing, I think.
And that's the thing I was going to touch on, the players that have come in, like, to be honest, like Gruev, I was a bit of a critic of him last year, but even he's come in and done a job for us. He's probably got a bit of flack that is probably undeserved for him, and I've probably been on that fence of he does the simple things really well, and this is exactly what we want as a squad. We need players who can come in, and I'll be honest, I think like James, I've been really impressed with Justin, boys. Really, really impressed. Yeah. Just the way he's come in and slotted in. into that free at the back system. You can even go take Jaden Bogle's position out on the right, or even if worse does come to worse, which I think we'll touch on in a bit in regards to transfers, you can go out. You can go out on the left as well. But I think we lose a little bit of swing on the left. But I'm probably going to go on to it now, lads. But I've got a question to all of you. If I had a sort of gun to your head, all of you, and I said, right, one position, that's all we can sign is one player, what position and why? Anyone, doesn't matter who comes in.
I'll take a Jam. No,
you go.
No. It would be a striker, definitely, because I have an absolute fear and I'm shaking with the thoughts of losing Calvin Lewin. But I don't think we would get a striker of his quality for the money we could spend. So, it's a mixed bag for me. It's like, you can bring in a striker, but you need a striker who can play in this system. I can do what Calvin Lewin is doing, because I think he's so key to what we're doing at the moment. So it's a bit of a. Honestly, if he lose goals, we're not winning games. It's not just Calvin Lewin's goals that are winning those games. It's his all-round play.
It's key, isn't he?
100%. So it's very strange. Gudmundsson, I agree with that as well. The left back is a problem position, because I think, for me, I honestly think Gabby, other than Calvin Lewin, and I honestly didn't think Calvin Lewin would perform the way he was, has been the best signing for me. He's just, we've never had a left back other than Fairbaugh in the championship. Right back to Ian Hart. That's like look at that Harry Wilson, foul, dirty Welsh people.
Can't trust them, boys.
All my hands up.
Can't trust them.
Just for him to burst, that's what he is. He's just energy. He's just. I love him. But for me, striker, if you can get a similar player to Calvin Lewin at the money that we can sort of spend, which Larson, I don't think we're going to get in Larson.
No, don't really hope stay, will you? Come on.
Yeah, well, listen, he is
clutching our straws here, and his agent is a Leeds season ticket holder, so lads, it counts for something. Don't tell me it's not. It's the only thing I'm holding on to.
Have a chat with him at the Arsenal game.
Go on, side it, get it done.
Striker for me, John, the short and sweet, but it's a very hard to replace Calvin Lewin.
I'll jump in. Go on, Dillo. Go on, you go, buddy.
Well, I've been very vocal about Okafor at the minute, Jam. I just feel like he's getting on the pitch, gives you probably 60, 70 minutes, and then he's coming off, and he probably whipped in about 2 or 3 balls. One was probably good, decent. I'm hard to see of where I can put Okafor in this team at the minute. He has quality, we know that. We can see that he can. Especially a pre-season game, obviously the one that was in Dublin against AC Milan. Me and Darren were saying this fella's unbelievable. Came to Leeds, and I just feel like it's a stop-start kind of thing from at Leeds. So I'm going to agree with Stephen. I would say a striker, but I am greedy. I'm very greedy. So I would be looking at a left-back as well. And then just lastly, before I forget, I love the way you brought up Gruev there, because I can finally admit Darren and Danny and his canal going. I said this for months and months and months. Gruev is the man.
It's hard though. Like I think we could probably pluck any player out of this Leeds side at the minute, lads, and say they're doing really well. Like when you think of Ampadu, I think he the improvement since that Man City game, night and day. Absolutely, Theo.
It's unbelievable.
Like that backline as well. You look at Bial, he deserves praise. Pascal Struijk, I think, quietly goes under the radar, goes about his business. Rodon's obviously been injured, came back, has done fantastically as well. I probably think the only position that you could probably be a little bit disappointed is the goalkeeper, is Lucas Perry. He's certainly one that I look at. I'm very disappointed, probably from the fee in the summer of 17 million to the performance levels that we're getting out. And that's probably the disappointing one for me. But this is what I lead on about it being a different Leeds United now, Steo, is that we've seen on the weekend Daniel Farke being ruthless and making that decision, and the right decision for Leeds United, and taking Lucas Perry out gold, knowing that he's struggling, knowing his performance level is below par, and brings Carl Darlow back in. Which before with Daniel Farke, he'd always let it run a little bit too late, and for instance with Elan Meslier.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I was just very surprised when I seen it.
Me too.
No, definitely. I was like, what? But like that just shows that I think Farke has realised himself he needs to evolve. And I'm gonna bring it back to when we were saying that we wanted Farke. I don't think that would have mattered if it was Farke, another manager. We had nothing against Farke, nothing against him personally that we wanted this person out of the club. It was just the manager we had at the time just wasn't showing it on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? That's a different thing. But yeah, like for Farke to have the ruthlessness now that he has, sorry, can you say that word? But yeah, you know, it shows him. It shows he's evolving as a coach. It shows he's not willing to sit in a press conference and talk about. You heard his last press conference, and he brought up the goalkeeper situation again.
Straight away,
spoke about this. And even that, listening to that, I was like, well, he's still gonna play Perry.
Yeah.
When you used to do his predicted 11, we could all predict it. I could predict it. You could predict it.
Actually,
everyone could predict it. The manager could predict it. So
that brings me on to my questions. They actually to us all lads as well, because I know Darren brought it up there. Going into this game on Monday, who would you actually start in there?
I think it has to be Darlow, Dylan.
Darlow,
I think it has to be. I think Darlow obviously had a bit of a hairy moment against Fulham, and Leeds fans were kind of losing their head. But look, you're going to get it. When a goalkeeper makes a mistake, it's detrimental and it's highlighted. When a striker makes a mistake or a midfielder makes a mistake, it's obviously not detrimental. The goalkeeper is the last line of defence. So, look, your keepers are going to make mistakes. Even the best in the world do. We see that. But I think with Darlow, overall, I don't think he gives me a little bit more confidence. When the ball comes into him high, I believe he's going to catch it. With Lucas Perry, I don't. I kind of, is he going to get it? If the ball comes back to him and it's at his feet, you know, you wonder where is it going to end up? Is he going to scoop it, you know, straight into their striker's feet? Is he going to put it out in the stands where, you know, Carl Darlow, it's going direct and it's hitting Calvert-Lewin? So I feel a lot more comfortable with Carl Darlow. Is he Leeds United's goalkeeper long term? Is he the quality that we need? Probably not. But I think Farke realises that now is that you have to make the right decisions for the football team. Meslier, the situation that was let rumble on far too long. We all know that now. But I think this shows that Daniel Farke has learned from that, and we all learn from mistakes. But I was so surprised, like you, Theo, that he took Lucas Perry out goals on the weekend. And now for me, it's up to Carl Darlow to lose his short. And it's just disappointing because what do you do now with the goalkeeper? What do you do with Lucas Perry? £17 million sitting on your bench. You're basically going to have to wait for Carl Darlow now to have, you know, a bad couple of games in a row and have a couple of clangers to reinstate him again. But then you've got this back and forward then, lads, of your goalkeeper in the Premier League of changing them week in, week out. And that's unsettling the back line as well. So I think now the goalkeeper position for me is one that you nearly have to be certain on of who your goalkeeper is and stick by it. But it has to be Carl Darlow now for me, lads.
But Dar, we went to a game, I can't remember what one it was. It was definitely last season. Oh, it wasn't, sorry, it was 2 seasons. The one against Swansea where I had really a bust up with your man Franco, remember?
Yeah, they do all.
We went out, obviously Swansea fans were singing, and the first Leeds player to come out was Darlow, if you remember.
Yeah.
He went into his car, he didn't say hello to anyone, and he went down. Me and you looked at each other and said, he's not happy, whether it's game time or what more does he have to prove. And that really is annoying me all the way up as far as now. Darlow's never really done anything as bad or as detrimental as you would say, for me personally. So what more does he have to do or to prove to start week in, week out for Leeds United? That's what it is. I know you could talk about the money for Perry. I get all that. But if something's working, we change it.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. Oh, go on, Stu. No, I was just basically just going on about, like, I know he's paid money for Perry, and yeah, is it 17 million? Is that what someone said?
17 mil, yeah.
I don't. Again, I know that doesn't mean anything to me. You know, it doesn't matter how much you cost. You need to prove it to be in the team. Yeah. I don't care. I don't care how much we paid for somebody. If, you know, Darlow, for example, I think with him, where it came from, I think he had one bad game against I think it was Salford, even in the cup, or if I remember.
Chef Wednesday.
Chef Wednesday, was it? Sorry. Yeah, Salford. I think that was about 2 seasons ago. But from there, I think some fans have thought, oh, Darlow, he's not great. He's not that good. But let's be honest, you know, when he came in for us last season to get promotion, I think he won us more points than Meslier would have, and that's again, you know, my thoughts on Meslier, not slating him, but it's a massive upgrade on him because that's exactly what we need. We need Darlow just in the net. We need a safe pair of hands, and just to sort of reiterate my point, I don't care how much we pay for these players, as long as they're proving it on the pitch. That's all that matters.
And Darlow, in fairness, that when Perry was injured for that period of time as well, didn't he have a quad injury or something like that? When Darlow came in, I thought he was fantastic. You remember the save he pulled off down at Fulham as well. The one was going right in the top corner. So he does have quality as well. And I think, especially this season, because it's all about consolidation now, is that you have to take the tough decisions. And this certainly would have been one for Daniel Farke. I'm sure he probably would have had sleepless nights leading up to that Fulham game of what do I do with this? Because basically you're leaving a £17 million you recruited in the summer, thinking that's going to solve your goalkeeper situation that you had the previous season, and it hasn't turned out that way. Now, look, is it over for Lucas Perry? Absolutely not, because us as Leeds United fans, we have a habit of writing players off when they like to turn around and prove us wrong as well. But I think now at the moment, the short has to be Carl Darlow's until, he underperforms and Lucas Perry then gets an opportunity again. But yeah, still, like, like, what do? You have £17 million goalkeeper now sitting on the bench. Probably looks to me now the flop of the summer.
Do you know what? We have this as Leeds fans, this whole thing of money team, because we never spent money. We haven't spent it in so long, right? So £17 million player sitting on the bench now, if he stay in the Premiership next season, is peanuts.
Yeah.
Chelsea have 30, 40, 50, 60 million pound players in their reserves that don't even get onto the bench. That's where we're aiming to be. So when we have this hang up of the Ken Bates years and the penny pinching and the £1 million player, wow, Jesus, this is amazing, stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Luke Murphy.
We still have that. Yeah, Luke Murphy. Yeah, and this is a word. We still have that. I still have that. That PTSD that we still have is in us. So we're in the Premiership now. It doesn't matter what he costs. If it's 17 million, 30 million. If he's sitting on the bench, if he's not good enough, he's not good enough. We move him on next season. It's the same with Okafor for me. I think Okafor.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. Yep.
Is a stopgap for this season. He's good enough for this season that we're trying to evolve and stay in the Premiership. If he doesn't prove himself next year, you move him on, you buy something different. And that's what look at Brighton's. Look at Brighton's. The way they work. Do you know what I mean? That overhead kick, that 18-year-old scored the other day that cost 35 million. They couldn't buy him when they first went up to the Premiership. That was it. But they can now. They'll buy him for 35 million and they'll move him on for 60, 70 million.
Yeah,
that's so we have to stop getting hung up on Perry cost 70 million. I don't care what he costs. If he's not good enough, he doesn't get
wasn't bad, like.
That's kind of what
I think it's more so. It's more so that because of what we were through with Meslier and the hardship we were put through every week and the clangers we were seeing, it was like Perry was a savior when he came in. He's going to solve Leeds United's goalkeeper problem. So when you see the goalkeeper problem continuing, you're like, why can't Leeds United just have a competent goalkeeper? And I think you just like what Jam said. I'd rather have a goalkeeper in goals that we don't have to speak about, doesn't have too much saves to make, isn't having an unbelievable game, because otherwise we're getting bombarded. Just a goalkeeper we just don't have to speak about. Just comes in, does his job. And I feel like that with Carl Darlow this season is that he makes me feel comfortable at the back line, and you can see the back line are comfortable with him as well. He can play a bit at his feet and he can pull off some good saves as well. So for me, I'd be sticking with him. Jam, you were going to jump in there?
No, I just a quick one was just to jump on what Steo said. I do want us to kind of be better in setting players on in regards to making money, if that makes sense, for PSR reasons, like Steo said with Brighton. Saicedo went for, I don't know how much he went for, but they brought him in for next to nothing and they're selling him to Chelsea. That's where I kind of want to see us. If a player isn't performing for us, like Meslier now, he's going to go for next to nothing now in the summer, or he's even going to go in January for nothing. So I kind of want to see if players aren't delivering, then I kind of want to see us still bringing in money. Like, again, I'm no financial expert, but I kind of want us to be a little bit better in that aspect. The selling players on so it can raise more funds for. I said I know financial. I don't know. I'm no accountant.
It just makes sense, Jam. That's what meets the eye, isn't it? I think probably when the player stock is a little bit higher and it's only gone one way, it's probably move them on. Like Meslier should have been, for me, lads, moved on 2 seasons ago. After that fourth year back down the Championship when we failed in the playoffs, I think Meslier should have been moved on then. To be honest with you, same with Patrick Bamford. When you can reoccur a little bit of money for them. There was one stage, I think Marseille were in for Meslier, weren't they, offering something 12, 15 million pounds for Meslier as well? Look at that now, and now he looks like he's going to go for free in the summer. So definitely with that, Leeds United have to start looking at that a little bit more, moving players on before it gets to this. But I think that's probably still a little bit of the hangover from the previous ownership, lads, that's hanging over Leeds United a little bit. I do think if you look at the 49ers, we are doing things a lot differently now. When you see the contracts that players are signing, the players we're bringing into the football club, it looks from the outset that is a lot better. It's a lot more strategic. It's a lot more thought out of personally, Jam. So yeah, look, I can't criticize the 49ers. In the summer, you look at maybe 1 or 2 positions. Could we have went for it? A more attacking player? Absolutely. Could the money have been saved on, Buonanotte to go and get another attacking player? Absolutely. But you look at that now, is that you know, we need Bar now because we're playing a back three. So it's only now you look back at the summer transfer window and say, you know, we probably did a good 8 out of 10. I think like some of the signings in there have been really solid. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll take a little bit of a look ahead, Leeds United's next 5 fixtures, lads, and we'll see where we can pick up points. Because getting to that stage of the season where every point counts now, it looks like we're counting now until we get to that magic number to see Leeds United safe. And then we're going to move on to the transfer side of things, probably what everybody's waiting for in the chat as well. Tell us about signings. Who's Leeds United signing? We'll get into that. So this is Leeds United's next 5 fixtures. Dylan, I'm going to come across to you. It's Everton up on Monday night. They're missing Jack Grealish, and I think Dewsbury Hall might be out this game as well. But again, it's a fixture list, Dylan, that you looked at and going, you know, Leeds United have a good opportunity to pick up a couple of points in these games.
Everton, obviously, being in their new stadium, but we seem to be this new animal now that's opened up away from home. So I'm going to say 4-0 now to Everton. 4-0 to Leeds, sorry.
No?
You kind of threw me off there.
Dylan's not talking. Jam will come over to you, pal. I know what happened there.
Am I back now?
Is it? I can hear him. I can hear him.
Yeah.
I can hear Dillo, yeah.
You can hear me, lads, yeah?
Answer.
I can hear
Darren,
Dillo.
you can stay quiet there. I'll finish what I'm saying.
Dillo, you go ahead. You go ahead, because I can't hear the thing.
So, I'd say 4-0 to Leeds. Straight off the bat. Obviously, the Arsenal game is going to 50-50, but was it Forest they drew against last week?
Yeah,
they drew them now, didn't they?
It can be done.
Yeah.
It can be easily done, you know, and obviously we'll be home as well for in Elland Road. So, you know, it's getting to the point in this season now where we don't know what way Farke is going to set up, which is great, and we don't know what the results are. It's not like when we say, for example, Arsenal, when we did lose at the Emirates. You know, we kind of expected to lose. We didn't expect to lose that bad. But I think now I think Leeds will have a bit more fight in them. So, you know, I'm chuffed. Anyway, lads, if you want to tell Darren there that I'm done speaking, you can hear.
So, like, results-wise, but, like, I don't know, results-wise, how can you see us going in those next 5 games? Just so, like, it's just a bit of fun, really, in regards to, like...
How many points we get out of the next 5?
Yeah, or you can just run through the fixtures and say, "Oh yeah, draw, win."
I'd say we'll actually give I'd say a draw with Everton.
Yeah.
Listen, me and Cordy are going to the Arsenal game. Cordy hasn't seen Leeds losing 20 plus games, so that's a banker, right?
Yeah.
So throw that in.
I think we will get one over Arsenal, lads. I think we'll be the ones to. I really do, and I'm not just saying that. I said that to Darren off air there a while ago.
Why not, Dillo? That's the thing. Like, why not?
Look.
I bankers against anyone at home.
Exactly.
Whether it's a draw or the win. I can't see us losing to anyone at home. I can't see us going, jeez, even City coming up at home. I'm not.
Yeah. I think that's the good thing about it, boys. Like before, as in like, God, take us back to 2-3 months ago. I was dreading some fixtures, thinking, "Oh, we're not going to win. We're not going to get anything out of there." But now it's like a renewed confidence in, like, you know, with the system change, and like, I know Arsenal beat us 5-0 earlier in the season, but now I'm looking at it and thinking, this is like we got a genuine chance now against these sides.
We're a different beast now, Jam. It's like, you know what it even is with me. It's like, not that I fear that we're going to get beat. I don't even fear that if we compete and we play well, and we show that, you know, and you lose, like the Newcastle game, for example. Yeah, I'm going to use that as an example. We didn't deserve to lose that. We competed with them in a cauldron that is St. James's Park, where teams find it hard to go, and we went toe to toe with them, and we lost in the last second. You know, and that's football for you. That's not going to the Emirates and just folding and letting them. You know, that's the difference. So if I can see us competing and giving everything and getting the result or getting a draw or being unlucky not to get a draw, and you move on to the next game with a bit of optimism and go, do you know what? We showed fight in that game. We can compete, and that's the biggest thing for me. We can compete.
That's spot on, Steve, and that brings me back. I'm going to go back in time here, lads, and everyone in the chat probably agree with this as well. We talk about the structure of Leeds in game management. You know, one, let's say, and this isn't me being negative. This is the badness that Farke had done to kind of more or less put his job on the line, sort of thing, and us being the way that we are, getting hot-headed and wanting them out, etc. So when you're trailing a game and you can see that players are jaded and need, you need a substitution. You're waiting for the 17th minute. Every fan in the ground in Elland Road or wherever away is looking at the time to see when he's going to make these substitutions for these players to come off, right? And then all of a sudden, then just about 4 or 5 changes, and he just chucks on a lot of attacking players. Hail Mary and see what happens. Now it seems to be a bit more structured, and as Darren said in previous videos before, it's great to see. Not only is he start utilising the players a bit more, but he can change the formation as well. So we're starting to look a bit more like a Premier League team. And then on top of that, lads, our set pieces are unbelievable. So we're starting to look like a Premier League club. I'm not going to say established just yet. I'll say that next season when we're up. But I mean, as it is now, Leeds United are like that sleeping giant that I keep on saying for the last 18 months. We're going in that right direction. Welcome back there.
How is it? Apologies about that, lads. I've no idea what happened. My sound just completely went, but we're back now anyway. I hope the lads kept it civil while I was in here. Right. Let's move on and let's talk about the transfer window then, lads, because it's obviously the hot topic at the minute. Not too long, about 10 days left until the window slams shut. So Leeds United have done a little bit of business so far. We've obviously got the signing of Buonanotte in the door. A player that Leeds United have been crying out for so long, Jam. Daniel Farke has been very vocal about this over the last 2 or 3 transfer windows. Really good player, a ball carrier. This is what Leeds United normally do. The number one priority, go out and do it and get it done.
That's it. And a few things Daz and boys, to touch on is, we haven't utilised the loan market that well over the last few seasons, and it's nice to see they were actually utilised it. Whether it's probably right until the end of the season, and if he goes back to Brighton, then that's fine. But what a positive thing for him will be if he goes back to Brighton, knowing that he's secured Leeds United's, he's played a big part in securing our Premier League status. So that's one thing. But another thing I really like about Buonanotte, lads, is set pieces. I would like to see Stack in the, when he is fit in the box, as well as obviously Bio when he's back fit. But Buonanotte is just it's just a bit of X factor I think that we've been missing. I'm not saying that he's, 1 week he could be bad, next he could be a world beater, but I do think he can make a huge difference to us. We're playing well as we are at the moment, but when there are teams like on the weekend when we just, we won 1-0 against Fulham, but I think he, in those type of games, have a huge influence. I just rate him. I do rate him very highly. So very, very, very good player and a step in the right direction. Like you said, when do we make signings like this? I do believe it's that marquee signing that we've been craving out for. And if we can just get 1 or 2 extra in, just to sort of just freshen the squad up, but also they have to be the right characters as well for the squad, because we all know the squad togetherness is something that Farke's really. That's one thing that's a thing that I'll give him credit for, is the togetherness of the squad. All the interviews you're seeing after games, they all come out and say how well they all get on together. But yeah, went off on a bit of a tangent again, as I do. But to bring it back, but no, great signing, and hopefully now, like I said, if there's 1 or 2 left, hopefully they can be off the level or around the level.
And there must be a reason, Steo and Dillo, that we've gone back in from, because we know in the summer we very nearly had him. He was nearly a Leeds United player, barring them lot down in London came in and took him away from us. But there's obviously a reason why Daniel Farke has gone back in from again, Steo, is that he must see something in this player that he knows is going to improve Leeds United, and a player that he probably looks at going, I can get even better out of him as well. So I'm excited. I think he's a great sign. And Steo, you've been saying that we've been missing that ball carrier through the middle of the park. So you must be delighted with this signing.
And you know what it does as well? It frees up the wingers. A player like him in the centre of the midfield, that he's gonna attract defenders to him. He's gonna isolate defenders. He's gonna have people focusing on him because he has that bit of skill. So that'll free up the likes of Okafor. Maybe this will bring the best out of Okafor. I'm not saying Okafor is a finished product or by any means, but maybe this is the type of player that you need, that is a different focal point for the other opposition team to go, well, we have something else here, because we've always relied on our wingers to give us that creativity. Now we have something in the centre of the midfield that can, and he can also go out onto the wing, and if you play the likes of Okafor and he can come inside, or the likes of William Nanto, he can come inside and he can go out. So it's just given another option,
more option,
and another thought in the opposition team to go. We don't just we have so many similar players in the centre of the midfield, and I love them for what they do defensively, but we didn't have that attacking flair. Like I had seen a few Leeds fans on Twitter and Facebook saying like we're taking loans out off Brighton. You know, like this is where we're at, like lads. You know, we're taking loan. This is where we're at as a club at the moment, as a newly promoted side. You know, you can't snuff at that. I'll take a loan off Brighton all day. You know what I mean? If he's not, if he's not good enough at Brighton, why is he coming to Leeds? It's like
it was the same with Solomon last season, and he's probably our most unbelievable player last season.
You know, I'm not saying I know everything about this player, but I know the type of player he is. I've seen him play for Leicester, and he was one of them best players for the Leicester squad in a really poor squad at that time. So,
and it's clearly a player that Farke wanted to stay on. It's a player that Farke has signed off on, and the 49ers have given it to him. He's been crying for it for so long. He's got it now, and now it's up to the player and the manager now to make it work. And they don't always work. That's obviously the case. And if they did, you'd guarantee every single signing. But I have
one more point, and maybe if he had came in at the start of the season, and if he had played in Aaronson's position, and let's be honest, we all washed our hands of Aaronson. We all did. Maybe he wouldn't have developed into the player that he is now because he would have been up against. You know what I mean? So him not signing then maybe it was a good thing because Aaronson is now proved he can play. I'm not saying he's the same type of player, but he's the most attacking midfielder we have in the whole squad. So maybe it was a blessing in disguise that, and now with the two of them playing off each other or playing together, you know, the options are brilliant there.
Yeah, and that we can change now because we know we're the 3-5-2 lads. Sometimes our possession were the 3-4-3, but now we can change it up anyway, lads. Can't we? We can go to that tried and trusted what Daniel Farke always went with, was the 4-2-3-1. So like what you said, Steve, now we have options on the bench. We're not just rigid to one formation, and every team knows the way Leeds United are going to set up how we're going to play. We've so many strings to our bow, and that's a really good thing to have. Dylan, I want to pass this one to you. So Emmett obviously has a bit of concern about Buonanotte. He's been sitting on his hands the last 6 months. Is he ready to step up to the level that we need? And that's the $1 million question, isn't it? And that's the gamble that you take bringing in these players.
Let's be honest with you, when you have the likes of Tanaka there and you have, Aaronson, obviously the form that he's in, you have Longstaff, you have Gruev, you have Ampadu, it really is a lot in there in the middle of the park. You know, they're all going to be fighting for their place. So if he's coming down from Brighton, coming to Leeds, and obviously Farke sees something in him that he needs him to be in this team because he's went in for him before, well then that's up to Buonanotte to make sure that he is getting into this team, because let's be honest with you, similar to Solomon last season, if it didn't work out, it probably would have been a flop, and it probably wouldn't have looked good for Solomon. He wouldn't have got his move, or he would, a lot of clubs were in for Solomon after the performance that he put on for that season for Leeds. So, they say loans, they're very good for players, but they can also be very bad for players. So, I would like to think that he's here, ready, whether to get his career back on track or just to improve. And as Jam said, having a resume to keep Leeds in the Premier League be a serious accomplishment.
Yeah, look, I think he has to prove it, Dylan. He has to prove himself now, because obviously it's been a massive flop from going to Chelsea. I think every football fan, even if you weren't Leeds, probably looked at that move to Chelsea going, that's a bit of a strange one. And when he was left out of the Champions League squad as well. So the ball is in the player's court now, lads, isn't it, to come on and prove what he's worth, get his career back on track, similar to what we've seen with Manor Solomon. So it's interesting to see. But I want to touch on an outgoing, lads, that I think is very much underestimated the business that Leeds United have done here with the loan sale or loan departure of Jack Harrison. So obviously he's gone to Fiorentina on loan for the rest of the season. There is a buy clause in there for £7 million, which is obviously fantastic. Hopefully he goes over there and does well enough. I'm sure we're all hoping that. And then eventually we can get rid of this Jack Harrison situation that we have going on. But the big one behind this, lads, is that we all know Jack Harrison was on the 90 grand a week at Leeds United, which was probably killing us all as Leeds United fans. So Baron Cross from The Athletic has confirmed that Fiorentina are covering nearly all of that 90k a week, Jam. And you touched on it a little bit earlier on in the show. That's a really good piece of business from Leeds United. Whoever got that deal done is absolutely fantastic. That's freed up a massive chunk of wage now for Leeds United to go do it in this transfer window.
Absolutely. And, some agent is because, let's be honest, he hasn't pulled up any trees, Jack Harrison, for anybody in the last few seasons. And to get him to go to Fiorentina and for them to actually cover most of his wages, I think is a bit of a, it really is a great sort of thing from the 49ers that they've done here. So can't underestimate that. Like, I've never been a big fan of him, Harrison, and he doesn't do much at all. Like, the Derby game for me, boys, was the final nail in the coffin. For me, I don't think I don't think he performed. So credit to the 49ers. They've done well there in getting the wages off the books. And hopefully that, like I said, perhaps that helped us with the Buonanotte loan signing, and perhaps it may help us in potentially a Strand Larson coming in, or, you know, I don't know, again, maths isn't my strong point, but perhaps that could help us in that direction. But touching on there, lads, I just said about Strand Larson, what do you think? Do you think there's a chance that could happen, or what are your thoughts on that?
I think there's a chance. I think it's, even though it's a very small chance, of course there is. But there's a host of clubs in from. You know, we're seeing Palace in from now, and I think Mateta wants to get out Palace as well, so they're going to be looking for a replacement. I think we need to see a lot of dominoes fall in our favour to see it get done. Maybe if you could somehow convince Joe Peru to go the opposite way to Wolves, and maybe a bit of cash and a swap deal. Graham Smith talked about it with the lads on the Square Ball podcast. But I do think you probably need a lot of stars to align for it to happen, Jam. But I think it's good that Leeds United are fishing in these waters, and that, you know, we're inquiring about these players. You know, I'd rather that we're at least inquiring that we're trying to get these players, rather than, you know, not the only thinking that we don't have a chance. And also we've been linked with Troy Parrott there as well. But I do think it's important that Leeds United get a striker done this window of some sort of quality that can come in and just elevate that level a little bit more, because we're seeing with Joe Peru, lads, he's just, I can't sit here and say that he's not it. I think it's just down to the system that Leeds United are playing now, and he doesn't fit the system anymore. So it's probably time that he moves on, as much as that's going to break Dylan's heart over there on the right hand side.
It is breaking my heart. But you know what, Jam, I think it could be easily get done, because, let's be honest with you, if you told me this time last year we got Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I would have laughed at you. So, like, look, I know it was free, don't get me wrong, and he chose Leeds, and he has a lot to prove, and I think he certainly proved it to all the pundits, and laugh at that, all the pundits, every single one of them, because he's making a complete take of them. But yet again, anything can happen. There's a lot of twists and turns in this transfer window.
Yeah.
And it's all about, obviously, look, we're doing the right thing with still a lot to be done. You know, you talk about Jack Harrison, I know he's gone out on loan. Hopefully he'll be sold in the summer. You still have Max Vober there as well. There's still a lot of deadwood hanging around the club to the aftermath, as Darren said, from the previous owner. So want to be careful who we get in as well, not just for the sake of getting players in.
Yeah, I think we will beat out Dylan, because we've heard Daniel Farke being big on that still, hasn't he? That he's really big. He keeps nailing this down on his press conference, that it needs to fit the group. It needs to be the right personality, and we've heard him speak about that a lot. And probably when you look at it, probably since the Jed Spence loan signing, he starts saying that after that, when that didn't go according to plan, and he was obviously, he went on to do, play for sports and better things and stuff like that. But I always remember after that anytime was brought up about Leeds bringing players in, Farke was always saying it needs to be the right fit, for the dressing room. And I think he's right now, lads, because this group of players seem to be a very likeable group of players. They seem like they get on very well together, and just one bad apple can upset the cart. So I think he's right there with that still, isn't it? We have to be careful who we're bringing in quality-wise, and also make sure that he fits the personalities that are in the dressing room as well.
No, definitely. And one thing I will say is that we don't need to bring in superstars either. Do you know what I mean? We brought in the likes of James Justin, just competent footballers who can play football and just do it out there on the pitch. You don't have to be 30-40 million pound players either.
Of course.
Exactly.
Not at this stage in our Premiership, journey, and that's what it is. We have to keep, like I seen Bournemouth have paid 35 million for some Brazilian winger. We're far off that at this stage. We just need steady players who are going to do a job. And as you said, not bad eggs. No one is going to come in and upset the apple cart. No one is going to come in and cause trouble. Just players to complement the players that we have. We're not going to, at this stage of the season, we're not going to get anyone better than Calvin Lewin for less than 50 million. Let's be honest. And does what he does. So we just need someone. Troy Parrott is not the answer. Yeah, Troy Parrott is a great footballer, but he doesn't fit into this system. He's a parole type of player who's playing in a poor league. Let's be honest, who's scoring lots of goals. So if you would have gone out and spent 30 million on him now, I'd be questioning, going, what are you doing next?
Do you think that, Jam, that comes from look, we've obviously followed his career as obviously being Irishman. We've seen him come up through the academy, and it's not saying that he can't reach the levels. He definitely has potential there, but I just don't think he's at that level yet for Leeds United. I do think the Dutch division is completely different to what the Premier League is going to be, and I think it's a nail on the head there, Steve. I think I spoke about it in the video that I done last night about it. I think Strand Larson suits us a little bit more than what Troy Parrott would now. And I do think you're going back down that rabbit hole that he's a very similar player to Joe Peru. He's not a player that can hold the ball up, that can run the channels, bring others into play. He's very much a poacher, very much a goal scorer, very similar to the type of player of what Joe Peru is. So if you're getting rid of Joe Peru to bring in a Troy Parrott, it feels like to me a Robin Peter to play Paul. And again, we're no tacticians, but that's the vibe that I get. So, yeah. It's going to be interesting though, let's see what Leeds United do. We spoke a little bit about left back cover, Jam. You brought up a little bit there earlier on about James Justin, and he's got so many plaudits here tonight as we've been talking about him. And I'm going to go a little bit against you, Jam. I don't want James Justin to cover out on that left hand side. I think he's done such a fantastic job on the right hand side, and he's not just cover for me anymore, lads. He's competition now for Jayden Bogle. He's haunting Jayden Bogle's heels. And to be honest with you, if I seen him start the weekend ahead of Jayden Bogle, I wouldn't even question Daniel Farke. I do think he's been that good. And people are saying that he's not a goal scoring threat. He very nearly scored against Newcastle. He scored against Derby County. He's getting in them positions. And I like the way he can cover that back three now as well. So I like the way he's out on that right hand side and he's doing his thing. And he's also right footed. So very similar to Sam Boyer. I don't want to move a right footer over to the left hand side. So for me, lads, that left side, that left back position is something Leeds United do have to look at. And good recruitment teams recruit before the problem actually happens.
Absolutely. I think with you need balance in the side, don't you? So I think that's as Leeds, we've been used to sort of square pegs and round holes, and we over the last few seasons. I kind of, if Gabby goes down, then who else have we got? And I don't want us to sort of be in that predicament. If there is somebody out there that's I don't know, like maybe a young prospect who needs a loan move to us, or because then they're not going to come in, they're not going to start over Gabby, but it's just somebody who's going to be happy just to maybe have a few minutes here and there, or just to come in and make that difference. And is it Oosterveld? Is that his name?
Oosterveld,
from Fenerbahce. I've seen he's been linked. I don't know an awful lot about him, boys, if I'm being honest, but looking at his stats and stuff, he seems to fit that mold of player that we need if Gabby does get injured. But he'd be certainly interested. I did want to kind of just say, like, this is going to sound quite controversial, but I actually think Justin could fill in, even if Rodon gets injured, I think he could actually play in that free, Justin.
That's what we seen him against Fulham. I think he done fantastic against Fulham in that back three, and I actually thought it was very smart what Daniel Farke done, because we only had 3 centre-backs available against Fulham. He could have very easily put Buonanotte on the pitch and then risk one of the players getting injured, and then you're moving into James Justin in that position. So I think Farke made that right call of putting James Justin into that back three and keeping a centre-back on the bench just in case anything happened. But yeah, I'm with you, Jam. It doesn't have to be glamorous. It doesn't have to be a player that's well-known. A young kid that's learning his trade, left back, natural left back, that can keep that balance to the side to come in as a little bit of cover for Gabby Gudmundsson, I think would be absolutely fantastic. It's an issue, I think, that we don't want to go down that route. If Gabby gets injured the first weekend of February and then we're trying to shoehorn someone into left back, then that's not the route that I want to go down. Dylan, what about you? Because you're the big fan of Gabby, Dylan, now, in fairness. Now he's fit, he plays every single game, and it's probably convincing someone as well you're going to come to Leeds United to be cover.
Giddy up Gabby, that's what I call him, because he's up and down that pitch, no bother to him. I think he's fantastic, lads. I think he's a great recruitment, considering Fairbairn going the other way. We've seen what Fairbairn was like in the Premier League before. Then he became a hero down in the Championship. Question marks over him. So the recruitment team done very well on Gabby. There's a lot of question marks on his attacking. At times, we know that he can defend, but his attacking. But that's something that he can work on. I wouldn't be throwing it in the bin just yet. But certainly I would be looking at that. I've said it when Jam asked if you had to pick a player, I'm going to be greedy. I don't want one. I want 2. I'll take a striker and certainly a left back. I'm greedy. I am greedy. So I think a left back has been an issue in Leeds United, lads, for years, probably since Charlie Taylor was here, for goodness sake. It's been that long. So and Gabby's unbelievable. That's straight as an arrow. So I think for me, it wouldn't be bad looking at a loan move for a left back, as Stephen said. I can actually be a Jam Munius said, a young prospect looking for a loan move for a bit of a squad rotation. So I wouldn't be against this. So let's go get a left back. Let's just go and win the league altogether.
Just going to pull up a super chat here, lads. Not very often we get one of these, so thanks very much to 1928D, man. I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan and a supporter of Leeds because of Brendan. We've been pretty good the last 5 years, and we've added recruitment, football character, how does a player respond to adversity? Lads, we obviously made, if you haven't seen it, go check out the video on Brendan Aaronson. Thanks very much to D-Man for your super chat. But Brendan Aaronson, Steo, has proved everybody wrong. His redemption arc, as we all keep calling him, has just been absolutely remarkable. 18 months ago, he was booed when he first entered the pitch on his return to Leeds United against Fulham on the weekend. He's substituted and he's a standing ovation at Elland Road. It has been quite a turnaround. Is he the Lionel Messi? Is he the Memphord Messi? No, absolutely not. But my God, he's got Leeds fans back on his side.
Yeah, but he's also not the Jesse Marsh, Brendan Aaronson that we've seen that fall to the ground every time someone come near him, that would do the same twist and turn and fall to the ground. You know, again, I'll go back to our criticisms of Farke. They weren't based on a hatred of a person. They were based on what we've seen on the pitch as fans and what we paid to see. And it's the same with Brendan Aaronson. He just wasn't doing it. You know, and it took for Farke maybe to change the system and change his mentality and for him, obviously, to get them bills and to get them and go, well, I'm not doing it. It's like anything in life. It's like he's come around exceptionally, you know, this season. But even at the start of this season, he wasn't great. We were all having the same complaints. He was overplaying. He was overthinking it. He cut out that fall into the ground thing. That's the one thing he did do this season. But the other stuff didn't change. And I don't know what changed, whether it's the formation changed, his mentality changed. His physique hasn't changed. He looks stronger. He looks more determined. He looks like he has more drive. He looks like he has more confidence in himself. And maybe that's down to Farke and the system, and that the whole squad has changed and he's changed along with it. And what I didn't like against Fulham was that chance he had where he blazed over the bar. That's not an easy chance. There's criticising players and there's criticising players, right? And I'm all up for criticising a player. And I don't particularly like it, but when I seen that and I went, it went over the bar. When you look at it, it's a ball dropping over the shoulder that's bouncing. You try and stick that in the back of the net as a non.
And he had credit in the bank, though, Steo. Like, exactly. If that was Brendan Aaronson, you know, at the start of the season, he's getting absolute pelters and bills. But you could almost feel it in Elland Road when he missed that. It was kind of like, he should have done better with that, but it wasn't straight on his back. You could hear Elland Road was straight back on it, back cheering, you know, keeping Leeds pushing forward with before. Like, it turns a little bit on him. So I do think now he has a little bit of credit in the bank because what he's done, the goals he scored, especially to finish against Manchester United for me, scoring against Man United, they're in folklore anyway. But I just think it's so good to see Jam, Steo, and Jam, I'm going to come over to you now, is that, and you're big on stuff like this, and you have your own channel on this mental health. Farke touched on it after the Aston Villa game, about Brendan Aaronson getting absolute pelters and, you know, ridiculed on social media and stuff like that. And he touched on the side of it about the mental health side of things. I personally don't think it's a coincidence since then we've seen a massive upturn of form from Brendan Aaronson. Do you?
Yeah, again, lads, is, you know, at the end of the day, like, footballers are human beings. Like, I know they obviously earn money and they earn all this, you know, however much they earn, but if you're mentally not right off the pitch, then on the pitch you can just forget about it. As I'm sure we've all experienced, like, grief or sort of mental traumas in the past, and mental health is a big thing. And like you said, I think. Perhaps when Farke said it, I was a bit annoyed, to be honest. I was a bit like, he's playing this card now, and, like, don't get me wrong, you know, it's if that is the case, then fair enough. But it's an important topic, boys. You know, we all say all the time, if you're struggling, then open up to a family member and that kind of thing. But yeah, Brendan Aaronson, you know, credit where credit's due, because where I was frustrated with him in the past was he was holding on to the ball way too long. His final ball wasn't there. But look what he's done in the last few games. His final ball's there. Is you know, he's not dawdling on the ball. That's the only thing that annoyed me about him. But he's doing exact opposite now. So credit where credit's due. And listen, I don't think it doesn't matter if you don't like a player, you don't like a player, but you don't go at them personally. It's just no place for it in the game. So yeah, I'm really happy for him because he's proven me wrong, absolutely, because I wanted him gone. Again, I wanted him gone. I didn't think he was good enough. But again, credit to Farke and credit to him because they've turned it around.
Yeah. Dillo, what about you? Because we got to be honest, you are one that kind of always went in a little bit, probably too hard at times on Brendan Aaronson, but it's so good to see him doing so well now, isn't he, and performing for Leeds United.
Just to, you know, bounce off what Jam kind of said there, when we had him when Jesse was here, it seemed to be what is the position for Brendan Aaronson. We knew he had this kind of, dogness in him. He wouldn't give up and he'd run till the dogs came home. So we were all kind of saying, well, he's an athlete, but is he a footballer? That's something he's been working on.
Yeah.
Obviously, he got pelters because he left when he did on loan. That annoyed everyone, as expected. Still happening today for certain players who, drives people mad. But then something kind of clicked, and I'm going to bring it up again. I know, you want to bring it up. But it was that first game, the 2-2 game against Port. 2-2, was it 2-2? Yeah.
3-3 against Portsmouth.
3-3, sorry. Yeah, against Portsmouth, yeah. You volleyed the railings. Brendan Aaronson, that was a big game for him to come back into Elland Road. We said it before, the boos that he was getting. That was a hard thing to come into. So to come in and score a goal and then literally score the winner, that takes, excuse me French, that takes balls. That really does. And to be fair to him, he's turning it around. I think he's been a brilliant player last season. And this season now, he's really, really grabbed it by the horns. And then, Darren, that video that you done, and lads, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It made me think when I was watching it, what he done, even with when Jesse was here, like that goal against Chelsea. We keep forgetting all these little things. So, exactly what Jam said, sorry for repeating myself again, it just seemed like at times with Brendan Aaronson, he got the ball, he wouldn't give the ball when it needed to be released. And every time he got around the 6-yard box or just outside, he'd bloom it over the bar.
Yeah.
And he said in an interview he's working on his shooting. He's paying off, lads. So
he's not throwing his toys at the side to cut in, boy. He's not throwing his toys at the Prem either. He's getting on with it. Like in regards to like Jack Harrison, he hasn't. It's a complete opposite for me. Brendan Harrison's come in and he's made an impact. And to be fair, like for all his flaws, he gives 100%.
Yeah.
Lastly, I will say I can actually now being a fan of his, which is mad to say considering I did give him a lot of hassle. Not personally, on a professional note. So for now, I can actually say, well, Brendan Aaronson deserves to be in this team, and he deserves to start. So,
yeah. I just think his end product, lads, has improved massively, and I've noticed like his finishing is obviously there to be seen, and we noticed that. But it's the little things that I'm starting to see. Now he's releasing that ball so much quicker, and you go back to that Sunderland goal. The Brendan Aaronson of old would have cut back in on his left, went back on his right, did a couple of twirls, and then lost the ball, where he was so quick to get the ball and put it straight across the box. And we very nearly seen similar against Fulham on the weekend, where he's running at the player, 2-3 touches and the ball straight across the box. So he knows what Calvert-Lewin wants as well. Calvert-Lewin spoke about it with Clinton Morrison as well when he was speaking about getting his Player of the Month award as well for December. He spoke about his relationship with Brendan Aaronson, where he knows exactly where to go now. So I do think that has a lot to play into it as well. You come comfortable chemistry with the players that you're working with as well. So it's just good to see that his end product has been elevated, Brendan Aaronson. And again, look at products of him. And it just shows you, lads, that, players at times come into clubs at the wrong time, and they can be around wrong managers and wrong teams. And this is probably the team that suits Brendan Aaronson now, and we're definitely seeing the best of him. But the thing is about Esteo is that he's not finished. He still has to keep going. He still has to keep improving. He has to build on this now, doesn't he? It's not just that's it. It's over now. He has to continue to keep doing what he's doing.
Definitely, and this season, he can continue on doing what he's doing. But next season, when we stay in the Premiership, which I fully believe, better quality players will be brought in, and he needs to step up again. So and that's the best thing for me is like you're bringing in better quality players to improve the quality players that you have, and they need to step up. And that's the dream. That's what we're all aiming for as a club, as a fan base, to see progression, to see a better quality and Brendan Aaronson going, well, now I need to be a better version of myself, and that's how it works. Like, so I can't wait for that. I honestly can't wait. It's just this season I've been very mixed emotions when it comes to it, but I fully believe we will stay in the Premiership. I fully believe we will bring in that better quality player. I'm not saying a full turnaround of a squad, because that's never going to happen, but let's keep all these players on their toes. Let's keep Brendan Aaronson on his toes. Let's keep him evolving into a better version of himself, because that's what Farke. And the one thing I will say is that I think Farke did do him a disjustice when he kept persisting with him while he was getting the slack he was getting. And Jam, you can allude to, as you said, to the mental health aspect of it. I think he should have taken him out of the team a lot sooner. to take that pressure off him.
Yeah.
Now it's worked out now, but back then it didn't. So in hindsight, it's great now, but I still look back to that and go, when he was getting all that abuse, the same with Melier, there was a time where Farke should have went,
just to attack.
And that's obviously why Perry came out of the team. I think Farke started to
and I think
understand that a bit more.
Farke has evolved the same way that the team has evolved to get us to where we are now. So it's been a great thing to see that this is happening now. Do you know what I mean? So I didn't want, as you said, Dillo, I didn't want that to happen to Perry either, because he's not that bad. He's not that bad. Like, you know what I mean? So maybe taking him out of the forward line, giving him this little break, putting Barlow in, going, don't care about the money. We paid this for you. It doesn't matter. Prove yourself now. Get your head in the right place. Come back and show yourself again. So I want that. I want to look for him,
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And look, obviously, what the title of the video is, lads, we're seeing a totally different Leeds United now. We're doing things totally differently now on the pitch. We look like a totally different side from what we did at the start of the season. And I think we're evolving, lads, as the weeks are going on. We're seeing development from players. We're seeing Daniel Farke, our manager, evolving as well. He's been learning from his mistakes and doing better. Does he still have his flaws? Absolutely. We all do. All of us all here, all of us in the chat, we all have our own flaws. And Daniel Farke certainly does as well. But I'm loving seeing the evolution of this Leeds United team. And also this club as a football club, the 49ers are driving the ship. It looks like they're driving it in the right direction. It's a lot to be excited about as Leeds United fans. We're after getting the go-ahead on the stadium now as well, Jam. So I think right now, after all them years, them 16 years of heartache, I probably sit here now as a Leeds United fan going, I would have longed to this. Back in League One days, if you had said Leeds United would have been here now and stadium development and all coming, you have to be proud right now and happy as a Leeds United fan.
Yeah, we've all experienced some shit over the years, haven't we? Let's be honest. Like in regards to just League One and just ownership issues, Chilino and all this kind of thing. But honestly, we got to enjoy it now, because I've said, like last season, it got navy at some points, but at the end of the day, we ended up champions, and we're proving we're punching above our weight in the Premier League, and I think we're bloodying noses of the big boys, and they don't like it. You see teams come up and they try and go toe to toe, but we are adapting and we're evolving. We're really causing teams problems, and I think that's what's exciting for me about the Premier League this year is, you're getting these surprise, like Forest drawing 0-0 at home to Arsenal. Now, why can't we do that against Arsenal? I know
Absolutely.
That's quite, but that's the way I'm seeing it now. Is I know they did us 5-0 earlier on the season, but I'm optimistic now for the games, boys. I'm looking forward to it and thinking we could get something there, or we could beat Everton. We could draw against Man City at home. So absolutely, boys, I'm over the moon with it and got to enjoy it. All the boys are fighting for the badge, and that's all I asked for and all we asked for.
Yeah, absolutely. Spot on. Dillo, we'll come over to you to wrap it up right at the very end. And I'll say.
Yeah, just proud. As I said, I want Leeds to win. I want Leeds to stay up next season. But I just genuinely think this part of the season, since Farke's just kind of turned it all around, I'm just actually enjoying watching my club perform the way that they've been performing, and that fight and determination. Now it's all down to the chemistry between the players. He said it numerous times. So there's a lot of stuff going on that we're not seeing, because we don't see it because it's behind closed doors. But I mean, that Farke should get a pat on the back for, and the 49ers should get a pat on the back for. And as we said there, like the likes of Brendan Aaronson and the players that have stepped up, and then the players that are on the bench, trying to get on for minutes and grabbing the jersey. Gruev is an example. So I genuinely think the noise around Leeds at the minute, from what one man previously built, and look, we'll mention him as obviously Bielsa, but obviously up to now, Leeds is completely transformed to what the club used to be, to what it is now. And to me, right now, it's a global enterprise. And I'm absolutely loving it.
Yeah, the quality, I think, perfectly put. Stay out, we'll come over to you to wrap it up, because I always know you leave us out with a heartfelt and make us all feel so much better.
Sing us a song, Steve. Really? Sing us a song. Sing us Barney. Go on.
This man down in the bottom right-hand corner eats, sleeps, and breathes Leeds United. He probably texts me about 40 times a day, lads. When something enters his head about Leeds United, my phone pings, and he just don't just stay out. Everything involved around your life is Leeds United, isn't it?
No, it does, and obviously, as the song says, ups and downs. But I make most of the ups when I can, because I've had so many downs at this club that's unbelievable. But I honestly do, and I do have a good feeling this season that we are going places with the infrastructure, as you said, with the 49ers, the stadium expansion. Like I'm on a season waiting list for I don't know how many years and never had a dream of getting one. You know, and now I do have a dream, and maybe I won't. And I'll still travel over as many times as I can. But, you know, there's a buzz about the place. There's a buzz about Leeds again. Do you know what I mean? The buzz that wasn't there. And that's what I love. I didn't experience the Bielsa team because of COVID. I was there during the O'Leary's days and the League One days and the Chilino days and all that. And it just, the city was just dead. Let's be honest. It was. There was the void there. And I remember going to Elland Road and fighting with our own fans and sitting in half empty stadiums and stuff like that. Not going to get into all that, but I can just feel that since Farke's fourth season, after Bielsa, obviously Bielsa was amazing. And I think we were all robbed of, you know, the joy that we should have experienced under Bielsa. And then the parade, the promotion this season, you know, the 49ers coming in with the plan that they have at this club, this city, you know, a city that I'm not from, but I'm basically part of, as far as I'm concerned. You know, I love it more than anything. You know, it's amazing. It's just, I love it, and long may it continue. And I think it will continue. And that's the thing. I honestly do. I've seen so many false dawns, so many owners coming in and spouting shite and telling us this, they're gonna do that. I honestly think these will do it. As long as we stay in the Premiership, they will do it.
Yeah.
You know, that's the difference.
Yeah, so, it feels like for me now, lads, that Leeds United are on the dawn of a new era now, and I know that's probably, you know, a little bit kind of mad to put, but I genuinely feel that now when I think about the stadium expansion coming, you know, to the West Stand and the North Stand as well, as a part of me going to be a little bit sad when that gets kind of knocked down, because it's not never going to look like that, and what that West Stand has seen through the years and the history that them bricks hold. For Leeds United to redevelop that, but we do have to evolve, lads, don't we, as a football club now, and the way football is moving. And if we want to be back to where we all know Leeds United belong, and that's the top of English football and amongst the giants in Europe as well, we need this, don't we? We need to push on as well. So that's why I'm so positive as Leeds United fan. I can't lie, lads, I go to bed every single night and my last thought is Leeds United and how good it is to be a Leeds United fan. And I just imagine not being a Leeds United fan. Like, it just must be miserable.
I can't wait for Champions League nights, lads. I can't wait.
Hell of a
Wednesday night.
I'm just trying to get a ticket for the Champions League game, lads.
We'll get in there.
League One days, you used to travel over and go to the ticket office and buy your ticket there and then 17,000. But Leeds are on their way back up, and it's a totally different Leeds United side from what we're seeing now. But lads, we'll wrap it up there. We're going well over time. But I'd like to thank Stephen and Jan for popping in on that Wednesday night. Really enjoyed that one, lads. Thanks very much to everybody in the chat. Thanks very much to D-Man as well for the super chat as well. That is greatly appreciated. So we leave it there, lads. Mind yourselves, mind each other. We'll catch you in the next one.